Hello, and thank you for joining me today. Well, this is the Tuesday, April 6th edition of our video devotionals. Appreciate you being with us today, and hopefully your Tuesday's going well. And we're going to kind of jump into things here. We mentioned, or I guess made an official announcement yesterday, we are in a transition phase from this church to a church in High Point, North Carolina. We've accepted the pastorate position of Woodlawn Baptist Church in High Point, North Carolina. And our first Sunday will be April the 11th. Our last Sunday was this past Sunday, Easter Sunday. And but this is going to be the last video devotional in this building here, this church building. And these people have been very gracious to us. I want to do this. I wanted to pan up. Just let me pan up here and let you look at the ceiling here. If you see those beams up there, this church with all the woodwork's a beautiful building, but this church was built by boat builders, and this is an area that's known for its commercial fishermen. People lived on the waters, and down east North Carolina, east of Morehead City, east of Beaufort, you go what they call literally down east, and this community here, Davis, North Carolina. Fish houses everywhere. People lived on the waters. That was their livelihood, and so all that to say, beautiful church building. So if you've seen this building in the videos in the past year, then you'll know, this is the church in Davis, and this will be our last video devotional here in this building. So appreciate the folks being gracious to us here. Okay, we're calling this transition week. So if you have your Bible, we're going to be in Psalm 55:19 and Proverbs 24:21. Psalm 55:19, Proverbs 24:21. Again, thank you for all who watch the videos. Appreciate you very much. These are not going to change just because we're moving to High Point. These will continue on, and you'll see different backgrounds, I'm sure. In fact, maybe I'll show you some places, because High Point is the area where I grew up. Maybe we can go to some places where I can show you where I grew up. There's plenty. There's lots of them, of course, but we'll see how that works out. Otherwise, we want to get right to the devotion today. Notice what it says in Psalm 55:19. It says, God shall hear and afflict them, even he that abideth of old, Selah. Notice this, because they have no changes, therefore they fear not God. Because they have no changes, therefore they fear not God. Then notice what it says here in Proverbs 24 and verse 21. It says, My son, fear thou the Lord and the king, and meddle not with them that are given to change. Meddle not with them that are given to change. So you have, it looks like contradictory statements here as far as it's change good, change bad. We know changes are going to occur regardless. But I think, when you think about changing, when we talk about, in Christianity, people changing their position, people have done that. You've got people who will use even the vernacular, like they use in the political terms. People become liberal. And by that, we don't mean liberal as far as giving more. We're talking about their theology, that used to be what we consider conservative or a fundamental or the basic Bible, principles. Then they change from that sometimes because of pressure or their own lack of walk with God, perhaps. The point is, people change from being what they were and changing to something that's not what they used to be, and in the negative sense, of course. So you look at that from Proverbs' standpoint. Of course, we understand that. It says there, meddle not with them that are given to change. You get that. There are people that will change for anything. People change for money. People change for a position. But then also notice what we read here in Psalm 55 and verse 19. Because they have no changes, therefore they fear not God. So I think, we could use the term common sense, but in the very spiritual sense, obviously there's things that God's trying to teach us here. Yes, God does not want us to change a position in which, it means we're to be in the right position. God doesn't want us to change that. You understand that. But also realize there are people that are in a wrong position. Unless they change and get into the right position, then they're not going to be doing the right thing. They're not going to be in the right position because they refuse to change from a position where they need to change. So you think about it. God says this, and they say, no, I'm not going to change that. So they have no changes. They have no fear of God. A preacher can stand up and preach a message. I've preached, I guess I could say hundreds of messages from this pulpit here behind me. And obviously there's going to be some references that we read from that talks about here's what you need to do, here's what you don't need to do. And if someone had the attitude, well, I'm not going to change that, then there you go. There's someone who's not willing to change to be in a right position on the other side of it. If you are in the right position, if someone tries to get you to change that position, then you should be a person that won't change. So you have to have the discernment, the wisdom to be the type of person that needs to change where they need to change, and they won't change when, of course, they don't need to change. That's not confusing at all. I think everybody understands that. There's things you don't need to change in your life. There's things you do need to change. God knows what those changes are, and you need to be willing to change, or you need to be willing to not change. And both are very important. Of course, with God, He doesn't change. I think it says, I'm not sure if it's the book of Amos. Let me check something here real quick, and I'll at least get you the right book here. Malachi 3:6, last book of the Old Testament, talks about God does not change. I change not. So that's a good thing, because God does not change from His righteousness. God does not change from His position of love and all that. You get that. So, but we as people, though, there's things that if you need to change things in your life, then you need to change them. Let God help you change those. In fact, we talked about yesterday, being transformed in your mind to do the will of God. So that means there's things you need to change. If you're in a worldly position in your own life, you need to change that. And then, of course, once you get in the right position, then don't change that. So I think you understand that. So we hope you have a great day, and we're going to see you tomorrow as we talk a little bit more about this transition week and how it relates to us spiritually. And we appreciate you being with us today. Have a great day.